Textual Builder Supply is pleased to present you with this recording of the technical question that is listed in the title of this video.
This call may be monitored and recorded for quality assurance.
Hey, so I can hear, I think it's probably your headset is my guess, because I can hear the phone system answer and transfer me to you, but as soon as you answer, I can't hear you anymore.
How about now?
Oh, there you go. Hey, my man.
I am so sorry. It was my dongle. It unpaired me somehow.
Dongle.
So that was my headset.
You had the mute on the cord, right?
No, I had turned it off and turned it back on. Somehow it unpaired or something.
Oh, yeah.
Every once in a while when I reconnect, it does that. Oh well.
Yeah,
we're here now.
Yeah, we are, my dude. We are. Hey, so what is the you sent me an order number, and what's that order number all about?
Yeah, so that was a quote I did. A client was in chat yesterday. He was asking for some swing clear hinges. So I asked him first. I asked him some questions, and I asked him for some photos. And it didn't really look like the application where he needed swing clear. You know, after talking to him for a little bit, it looked like more than likely wide throw. He also mentioned Parliament hinges, which I've never reviewed. But then there are some photos on here where the entryway is kind of interesting in that, you know, the clearance is a few inches away from the edge of the frame, and then it projects out into the room like 6 inches. So I think it's the CSP5 on that order. It shows how it kind of, the wall is extended in two different ways. So I wasn't sure if it's typical, if it's extra typical because of that, because I wasn't sure which inset measurement I needed. So I see there's a photo I uploaded. Is this the inset we need? And I kind of did the diagram because I wasn't sure. You know, I wanted to be sure, and I know there's that calculation in the Stanley catalog that we can do, but I got to make sure I understand what I'm asking for. So, yeah.
Right. Oh, So what does the guy want to do? Get those doors to 180?
Yeah. He wants them to open all the way up against the wall.
Look at him. Gonna be not a big deal. Gonna be easy. Okay, so let's. Wow. Ouch. Ouchie. Yeah. So okay. Inch and 3/8 doors, and so. Okay. Look at you, this guy. 22.75. Good job. Okay, so it's not the end of the world. Now the thing is, all right. So the client has this. It's an inch and 3/8 door. It's got a 3.5 inch 5/8 radius corner on it, hinge. Okay, fine. They clearly, yeah. Okay, yeah, that's the rabbet of the frame. This is the pocket where the doors are over here, because that's about 1 9/16. Keep dragging those with me. Okay. Right. Yeah. All right. So, not sure exactly what dimension that is, but it's probably every bit of 5.5. So, the formula for wide throw is door thickness minus hinge back set, which plus inset plus clearance. So,
if you've not hit subscribe yet, we would very much appreciate if you did, and hopefully you're enjoying this video. Now, let's get back to it.
We know that we have 1 3/8. How do we know that? Well, because it's a 3.5 inch hinge. How do we know it's 3.5? Because it has 3 holes. If it was a 4 inch hinge, it could be a thicker door, but that's a 3.5. So that's 1 3/8. minus, we'll say, a 1/4 inch, 1.125", plus inset.
Don't we do a multiplication there?
No multiplication.
I thought it was times 2. I guess I was wrong.
Wait a minute.
Okay.
Hold the phone.
I thought it was door thickness minus back set times 2 plus. But you're the expert.
You're right. Absolutely. No,
Yes.
you're right. I'm
Awesome.
I just don't hinge. So it's hinge door thickness minus backset times 2, right? Plus inset plus clearance. Okay. So 1.125" times 2 is 2 1/4. 2 1/4 plus inset, and inset is going to be, we can't obviously see inset, but we're going to call it 0. It's really the dimension. None of this really matters because our inset is really from the face of the wall to the face of the door. So that, let's just say 5.5. So 2 1/4 plus 5.5 is 7 3/4. Okay. Plus clearance. 7 3/4 plus clearance. And clearance is going to be what they need down here for the casing.
Oh.
For the base door. You got a nightlight here or whatever that is. So, and that stuff's going to be for sure 1/2 inch thick. So, you're at a nominal 8 1/4. So in this instance, you would have an 8 inch wide hinge. The problem is there is no standard 8 inch wide. You end up going to a 5 inch tall hinge.
Yeah, I'm gonna take one.
All right, buddy. A 5 inch tall hinge to get 8 inch wide. You may be able to get 4.5 by 8, but the problem with doing that is BB 5010-508, BB 5010-508, BB 5010. Not be any of those discontinued. Okay, so the issue is you've got an 1 3/8 thick door, and you try to put a 5 inch hinge on there. If you mortised that all the way to the back side of the door, your door is going to come right here. So it's a lot of hinge to stick on the edge of the door. And what that means is you would mortise it all the way here. So it would not be right to do that. Now, when the client says, because, the widest you're going to get in a 3 inch is 7 inch. 3.5. The widest you're going to get in a 3.5 inch hinge would be a 7. A 3 should be 357. So let's 5010-357. Will they do a 357 or is it just 356? Yeah, you won't get a 7 inch wide in a 3.5. You can get to a 4 inch tall on a 7 inch wide, and that's going to allow your doors to get really, you're going to get open pretty well. But without putting it all into AutoCAD, I wouldn't know how close to parallel to the face of the wall the customer's going to get.
Okay.
And
Definitely
you can
much
see,
better than how it is now, banging into the corner, but maybe
no
not
doubt.
all the way flush.
Oh yeah, no, and like I said, you could take a 4x7, and you're going to get that door reasonably open. The issue is, not too much of an issue, but there'll be a lot of mortising involved. And the customer mentioned a Parliament hinge, and a Parliament hinge is going to look like the capital letter H. It's going to really kind of look like this. Hole, 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 knuckle, knuckle. And I had a customer who wanted a whole mess of these really custom, and I'm playing with the idea of making them on the CNC because I believe it would not be difficult to make. but you'll get a Parliament hinge that's wide, where the issue with a Parliament hinge is getting one wide enough, because the formula does tell us that they need a hinge that's, basically 8 inch is exactly what it is. Well, a little bit more. Parliament hinge. And I know that
I know there's a Parliament section right underneath the hinges. I found it yesterday.
Yeah, no, they're there. Yeah, right. So the issue is, will there be one wide enough? And there isn't going to be one wide enough in the site. I think the widest I've really seen is 7 inch that exists.
Okay.
Oh no, here's a 4.5 by 8. Oh, this would be the cat's meow.
Oh.
This would probably work really perfectly because it's only 1 1/16 wide. You'll get all of that leaf onto the edge of the door. Yeah, this is it right here.
Wow.
So
he was right. Awesome.
yeah. So this should work out really well. The Parliament. That's called a Parliament hinge. Yeah. So that should work out because we're just going back to the formula. Door thickness minus backset times 2 plus, in this case, it's inset, and the inset's from the face of the wall, really, plus the thickness of the baseboard. So I would say, yeah, this would work really well, and I could certainly do a drawing in AutoCAD just to see what that would look like, and that would not be very difficult to do at all.
So here's a question, something that jumped out on me right there. It said the gauge was .256. Is that going to be an issue?
That's a very thick hinge.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's a 1/4 inch. They're saying 0.25, yeah, 0.256. Yeah, the bottom line is the leaf thickness on what the client has now is only like 0.096. Right. So it's going to be 2.5 times the thickness, a little bit more than that, wherever that picture, yeah. That hinge is going to be like 0.096, so it'll be 2.5 times the thickness. So they're going to have to mortise it not only taller, but deeper. Mm-hmm. Taller and deeper on both the jamb and the edge of the door. But the good news is running the formula, it's going to work, is the bottom line. How we'll know that for sure is just literally me tossing it into whatever I'm working on here. Something. So yeah, if it became necessary, I would certainly want to put it into AutoCAD only because I can, and that would really tell us I'm hung up somewhere on this. But that would be a nice thing to do. Okay. Yeah, I didn't know that we had them out to 8 inch. So there you go.
Is there any other things I should stipulate to the client, things you need to be aware of, other items I suggest, just based on this application?
Well, without changing the doors altogether, you might be able to, without a real radical change to what the customer's doing. What some people, I've seen people do. Imagine taking these leaves and cutting them in half in the width, and then they hinge them together so they can fold and then stack them. You still have the same type of problem. If getting out to 180 degrees is mandatory, or really close to 180, it won't. You probably won't go to 180 because of the projection of the trim here.
Right.
The hinge will be very close to getting it out there, but this may prevent it. And then with a thing like this, you got to sell them some sort of a wall stop. Don't want the trim damaging the finish on the walls. This looks like it's a house in Florida with the taller doors and the finish on the walls.
If you've not hit subscribe yet, we would very much appreciate if you did, and hopefully you're enjoying this video. Now, let's get back to it.
So
what the client actually said was he wanted it to open up against the door, so I was thinking like a magnetic door holder or something like that. Would that be prudent?
What does he want to do?
He doesn't want the door to bang up against the wall, but he wants it to be able to. He mentioned wanting it to stay open all the way, like against the door. Or against the wall, rather.
Yeah, you don't want it to bang against the wall, which means you have to have a small piece of auxiliary hardware for that. And what I like to use for that is this is not the item, but I will find it. I don't remember the part number. Ives and other people make a really small wall stop that's about 1 inch diameter, and it's nice because it's nondescript. You don't really see it, but he would want to have that there behind the knobs. Here it is, WS404. This is really small. Really small forward. Yeah, 1 inch diameter. This would be really nice. Get a matching oil rub finish, 613. That would do it up really well.
Okay. Awesome. Okay. Well, I think I know what to do with this client. I think I can sell him something. Fantastic.
Yeah, I do too. I would explain to the client, we've run the formula. You're right in the ballpark. Is it going to be truly parallel? Probably not. Is it going to be substantially all the way open? Absolutely. Because what you're dealing with is stock hardware versus a custom solution, which will be an order of magnitude more expensive. So yeah, I agree. And I'm so confident that the client will have very agreeable success that I would not insist that I do an AutoCAD situation for the client. So I really wouldn't worry about that. I'm hung up there somewhere.
And the one we were looking at, was that the Deltona? That was a 4x8, 4.5 by 8, right?
Yeah, that is the DSPA 4580.
Fantastic.
Yeah. I got a project someday. I'm going to make custom Parliament hinges on the CNC, and I already know how I'm going to do it.
Oh, that sounds interesting.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll get to see that on a Sunday.
Oh, you betcha. Yeah, that's for sure going to happen.
Awesome. Well, I'm going to dive in and make this deal. Let's see. Well, what else I got? I do have something else. Let's see here. I have a Rockwood issue that I could definitely use some help on. Let me pull this hold order up. Client specified, he placed an order for some Rockwood poles, and then he wasn't sure if he got the right mounting type specified. So we placed an order. We ended up ordering, I'm kind of stalling as I'm trying to find the order. But we placed an order for a pair, back to back, because he said he wanted type 5. And then when they arrived, he mentioned that, well, he already had one side of the pole, and he just wanted it to mate the other one. So let me give you this order number here. It's 229594. I think I have photos there. I certainly do. So actually, I might not have all my photos of his application. Type 5. I don't think I do, actually. I'd need to upload his other ones, unfortunately. Did I give you that order number by chance?
Oh, that's that ain't type 5. Yeah. That's a spanner. I can tell right away. What you notice about that is look at the angle of the thread here. Mm-hmm. Notice it here. Those threads on the left side they're this way. On the left side they're that way. On the right side they're that way.
Okay.
So what I know is that's what's called a spanner. It's a through bolt, but it's a spanner style. That is not going to mate up to an existing Type 5. This is way superior to a Type 5, far superior. I don't remember what type this is in terms of what it's called.
I think it's a 12 based on the Rockwood
yeah, could be.
invoice.
Yes. So SP1025.
If you've not hit subscribe yet, we would very much appreciate if you did, and hopefully you're enjoying this video. Now, let's get back to it.
And let's go to the Rockwood page. Let's go to mounting kit parts master table. Let's look at type 12. Type 12. No, I'm sorry. It's definitely not type 12. I'm flaking out. I should have known that right off the top of my head. Yeah, that's just a spanner, probably a type 11, and they may only do it in the 3/8 size. But this is literally what it is in the sense of, well, I don't think he has a type 11. He may have a spanner for, glass, type 14. So what happens here is, okay, so this is not a washer. It's a collar. It's a spanner collar. So what happens is the dimension from the pole to the backside is X. The dimension from the other side is X minus the thickness of the spanner collar. And that will go on the shorter of the two so it balances out. And you use a spanner wrench. And if you watch Star Wars, they're constantly talking about pass me the spanner. Like, what do you use a spanner for? Every single thing you do. So a spanner wrench is this. And
common
you put
piece
the
of
little
equipment in the fire industry.
Oh yeah, of course you know what it is. Yes, of course. Okay, so as you put the spanner, there's going to be a little hole in the spanner collar, and you rotate it just like you would, and because these are left-right threads, it draws that together when you tighten it. Super strong, strong. By far the best. By far. That's a 3/8 diameter bolt, but everything he's got now won't mate up to it for sure.
Right. Okay. And I specified it as type 5 on the order. So this is good because now you're telling me it sounds like Rockwood misshipped because it's not type 5 or type 12, but the invoice says it looks like it's type 11.
Yeah. So clearly there's no drawing here apparently where anyone approved it. So that's definitely going to be on Rockwood. Rockwood almost always sends drawings for us to approve. I don't know why they didn't in that case.
Yeah, me either, actually.
Yeah, they should have. But, I would tell the client, listen, whatever you want, but, this is way more durable because the bolt's 3/8 rather than 1/4 inch. Type 5 means 1/4 inch. Type 5 HD is 5/16. Type 5 XHD would be 3/8. So you got a much thicker bolt. It's a really nice, super solid. I would stick with it if you can.
I think the issue is he needed one side of back-to-back poles for two different doors, and we ordered a set.
And he ordered a pair, so that's pretty clear that he's going to get two of them.
Yeah, I'm just trying. I want to make it work. What do I need to sell a new fastener? Do we need to start from scratch? How can I make? It doesn't sound like he's gonna have the right poles because he's got a set and he's got two different open-ended doors that are missing different handing poles.
So how many doors does he have that he needs poles for?
Let's see how he phrased it. I need two handles to replace the two on the inside. So it's two doors and the two inside handles on two different doors.
Yeah. Okay. So if he already has, the thing is, you got to make sure of what it is that he already has.
Right.
A type 5 is, so that Rockwood master parts list, I keep it here because I like to be able to know what's going on. When you do a type 5 is going to have an SP1025 right here. So the outside pole is just going to be tapped for the bolt. The inside is going to be prepped for this cone head. So let's pull up a type 5 so we can look at it. Decorative bat, yeah, perfect. So when you do this kind of work, you ordered a Type 5 HD. Okay, fine, 5/16, a little thicker bolt. So you've got to make sure of what they're starting with. If they have a Type 5, or what would really be a Type 1, just a through bolt if it was a single pole, and the guy wants to buy the inside only, you have to be able to order 2 poles prepped for the correct mount type, and then you've got to be sure to sell him the bolts that he needs, which means what you could do is you're really buying a single pole, not a pair. So what you could definitely do in this case, what Rockwood would tell you to do, is you would just simply order a Type 6, because it will have the prep on the inside of the pole. It'll have the prep for the cone head bolt. It will have the counter bore for the set screw that's there. Okay, and that'll give you the pole. But what you don't have is the right bolt. So you'll get the set screw. You're going to get this SP1039 or whatever this is. And then what you got to do is you got to sell him 2. Actually, no. You got to order it with Type 6 HD. If he has Type 5 HD, you have to know what he's starting with. Meaning, if he's got outside poles, you got to know what you should see pictures, and you should know what thread type it's prepped for. So let's say it's 5/16. You would order 2 poles Type 6 HD. You'll have the set screw. You'll have this cone head machine screw, which you won't need, and then you got to pick up separately you got to sell the client separately the Type the SP1056 bolt only, and you specify the door thickness.
Okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
it's gnarly doing half pairs, because that's literally what you're doing, it sounds like.
Right.
I mean, that's what you've said you're doing. Whether or not that's actually what's happening has to be determined, but that's how I would go about doing it. Rockwood would probably have a more elegant way to do it, but I don't know all of their internal ways to do stuff.
Right. I did upload about 4 photos from the client while we were discussing that, so we can see what they've got. Bottom 4 were the fresh ones, yeah, with gobbledygook names. It was 229594.
Which image? Any of them?
Yeah, the bottom 4 are all from the client showing, yeah.
Got to have Randall build a way to open all files at once. Okay, yeah. So that's going to be the inside of a Type 5 or that Type 6, whatever. You've got a hole here for the cone head bolt. So what's he showing you there? What he needs?
He's showing me the other end that the poles have to attach to.
So this is a okay. All right. Yep. All right, I know what that is. Hang on.
Those are the original.
Yeah, there's that spanner. Okay. So what's not clear to me is, okay, yeah, that is pretty clear. Okay. So, all right. So he's keeping the outsides. He wants new poles for the inside. Got it. So in this case, assuming he's replacing this, and you just need 2 of them for the inside. What you've got to find out from the client is what thread size that is, either 1/4 or 5/16. 5/16 18. Once you know that, you would then order the pull handle that you need, and what's on that order is not the right part number. This is a RM301. Is an RM301 is it an offset pull? RM301 plus. Let's look. Yeah, that pole's wrong unless he wants this shape of pole. So because he clearly has offset poles here.
Oh, right.
So that's going to be like a BF 159 or something. And this is clearly aluminum, 628 finish. So what you want is you need to determine if that's quarter 20 or it's 5/16 18. Then what you need is a BF 159. You have to know the center to center. You have to know the finish with the 12-inch. Okay, so BF 159-12-628, and then you need to specify the proper mounting type. It'll either be 6 or 6 HD. Well, it doesn't. It could be. It could be. It could be really any of these. Type 8. Because they're all going to be prepped. You want to prep for a single cone head, so you basically need the prep for the inside half of this only. So BF 159, you got to know what diameter of bolt size it is. It's either going to be a 6 or an 8, and mounting type, mounting options. Yeah, for some reason they might want double cone head on there. So you'd have to have Liz, ideally we want to get those pull handles added with the Type 6 and the Type 8 mount types. But that's what it's going to be. It's going to be a BF 159 center to center, then you finish prepped for the right size of bolt. And it doesn't look like he needs anything other than a couple of pull handles. And I would just order him Type 6, because that'll give him a stubby little shoulder bolt that he won't use. Dad? Hey, Dad? Hold on that. Let me finish, because I'm recording this. So that's what would happen. Ask me.
Luckily, he called out that pull. Luckily, he called out the RM301, and we're just picking up the pieces because it sounds like you said, he called out the wrong type of pull completely to make up for the other.
Or he wants a different style. Not impossible.
Right. That's true.
Not impossible.
Okay.
But I will
ask that. Yeah.
You got to find out what diameter bolt to make sure that the prep here is correct. The diameter of the prep. I don't know what size that is.
Okay.
So it's either going to be that bolt's good. He'll have to take the bolt out, and he'll have to have a quarter 20 nut in his pocket, and he'll have to have a 5/16 18 nut. Just common machine nuts that you'll get in the bottom of your toolbox.
Right.
And then he'll know what size it is, and then you can order it either Type 6 or Type 6 HD, the pull handle only, and that's it. You're off to the races.
Awesome.
Yeah, hey, awesome. Rockwood's not going to want that back, so have email our shipping department to send a label, assuming they're going to want to abandon it in the field. But the client, under no circumstances, can use what's there. He just can't. Unless he changes, unless he buys another pair and changes everything.
Right. Okay. That's an option I'll suggest as well. May as well, like you said, the hardware on what he received is actually beefier than what it looks like he was requesting. So
far, and if what he has is not through bolted, and he might, because we don't know if it's through bolted or not. It could just be surface concealed, which it generally is with aluminum. Through bolting it is far more robust, because aluminum is thick. It's 1/8 of an inch thick to drill and tap to, but it's not. It's soft. It's really soft.
Okay.
It's so soft that when you cut it, it kind of liquefies.
Interesting. Guess I've never cut aluminum.
Huh.
Other than with a hacksaw.
You come to Florida, and I'll put you behind the machine cutting aluminum for 8 hours straight.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
I like it.
All right. I think that's good. We got some good stuff.
Hey, so Rockwood pole handles are not easy. If you feel uncomfortable, that's normal. Just keep asking questions, and it will sink in.
Okay. It's funny because I get more and more comfortable enough to make a mistake and learn something. So and it's part of the process. So learn more, you can, more stuff. So awesome. Very good. Thank you,
I'll
Rich.
talk to you. Bye.
Talk next time. Bye.
Architectural Builders Supply hopes you have enjoyed this program. Please click thumbs up, please subscribe, and maybe even send the video to someone that you know. Thank you.